All right, guys, welcome to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight, got Mr. Tim Micah helping out, answer questions, concerns, anything that comes up along the way. I think I had to wake him up from his nap.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out of the night to come to this one. It's not going to be, we're going to be covering T-slot and slot. Nothing too exciting, but we're getting over the more simpler stuff now and starting to get into the complex stuff after this. So I think after this, we'll go into the toolbox cycles and then get into some machining some 3D molds and even do some live machining for you guys too. So. But tonight's class is sponsored by Machines for Sale, so if you guys need a machine, check them out at machinesforsale.com. And then what I'm going to do here is, for those of you guys that are new, what we do is you guys suggest a topic that you want to see or hear, and we'll do a KevCAM night class on it, or we'll just do a quick little video. I've gotten a lot of you guys send in little ideas and stuff, and we've done night classes out of them, and we have created YouTube videos for you guys too for them. So, and then if you guys submit an idea, you guys get a free hat and t-shirt. So what I'll do is, for those of you guys who don't have my email address, I will put it into the GoToMeeting chat. And then also, right now, for those of you guys that are new, everybody is in mute right now, and that's just to reduce background noise. If you guys do have a question, definitely there is a questions panel. Go ahead and type your question in there, and Tim will address it, or he'll tell me to hush up and address the question, and we'll get you guys' question answered right away. So this class is solely dedicated for you guys, so if there's something that comes up along the way, definitely let me know so we can address it right away. And then for the channel, we do have a SolidCAM University channel that I started. In here, we have all the videos of previous classes that we've done, some simple, quick little 3-minute videos in here for you guys. So definitely come here, check it out. I will put the link for that channel in the chat too. And definitely go subscribe to the channel so you guys can get, as soon as we put a new video on there, you guys will get alerted that there is a new SolidCAM University video for you guys. So, but I think with that being said, we'll get the ball rolling here. Like I said, nothing too exciting tonight. We're going to be covering T-slot and slot. Came up with a part with a couple different scenarios of using the T-slot and slot. So with that being said, we'll get the ball rolling here. So first things first, like I always like to do, is we'll add a probe on there. Find out where our part is located at. Let's do a Z touch-off point right there. Grab our tool. And save and copy. And we'll do and got our tool already set. We want to do our X and Y. And let's just do a show so I can see where I'm taking my hits here. Definitely hitting a little too deep, so I'll move those up here. Now this will be probing off the stock for you guys, and basically we're finding our X, Y, Z for our part right there. Okay, so now we have our part probed up. We know where our part is in our machine. So now what we're going to do is do the T-slot. Pretty simple, easy to use. With the T-slot and the slot function, you guys can do these functions in other operations like Profile or Contour 3D. What they've done is they kind of just simplified it for you guys just to make it more proficient. So first things first, what we'll do is we'll just do a T-slot. And your geometry is going to be the innermost geometry that you want that cutter to come up to. So we're going to click on the inside of that wall. So let me delete that chain. I have my tangent propagation turned on here. So grab that innermost part right there, and it's basically where you want the edge of the cutter to be riding along. Now, it doesn't matter, you know, the levels right now or anything like that. We'll hit our green check mark. And what I did is I have a T-slot cutter in here, and actually this T-slot cutter that I'm showing right here is the same cutter that you guys have in your library. This is a cutter that I pulled out of the master for, I can't remember if it was master for aluminum or mild steel, but you guys all have this T-slot cutter in there, and there is several T-slot cutters in there. I actually pulled these from where I used to work, just random tools there. So we'll grab that. 1.5 inch diameter. We have arbor diameter, shoulder length. I have my tool holder on there. Let's turn some coolant on. And we're good to go now. Now the levels are going to look a little bit different than what you guys are used to seeing. So now we don't really have an upper level. It's going to be kind of pulling off of the clearance level, but it's asking you the ceiling height. So as I kind of highlight, or if I just click on it, you can see right here it's asking for the top portion of the ceiling. So we'll just click on that. And then how deep are we going? So now I'll just click on the bottom, how far we want to go down. Now in the technology, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Usually with T-slot cutters, we're going to have to take multiple passes just because you can't really bite off a ton at a time. So what we'll do is we'll do a rough pass, and we'll do a clear offset. And then what I'll do is I'm going to offset it out to the outside of the geometry right here. And we'll step it over every 50 thou. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, take a 50 thou cut, going along. It's going to arc out, come back, do another 50 thou cut. Now, getting a little bit deeper in here, and you can do zigzag one way. If we actually had this T-slot going around the entire part right here, we could actually do the spiral option. And that's kind of nice because it keeps that T-slot cutter engaged with the material the whole time. So a lot of cool little options in there. Now, working our way down here, our cutting overlap. Now, do you want to overlap the cutter, or do you want it to go to the exact point? What we're going to do is we're actually going to overlap it. Let's just go 20 thou right now, so that way we don't have a little witness line there from where the top and the bottom kind of met up. Then we have a cutting order. You guys can do from top to bottom, bottom to top, middle to bottom, or middle to top. So a couple different options there for you guys. So what we'll do is we'll just go from bottom to top right there. So that's going to get us all roughed out. Obviously, we want to come back and do a finishing and get that material out of there. So what we can do here is turn on our finishing, and we can, if we want to do a finish on the ceiling, the wall, or the floor, we can leave that offset in there. So what we'll do is we'll just leave a 5 thou wall offset, and we'll just do a finish on the wall. And doing the same way, bottom to top, and easy as that. Now, if you guys want, you guys can turn on your compensation. Think with 2016, the compensation should be automatically turned on for you guys. And if I am showing 2016 Service Pack 2 HF3, if you guys are not running 2016, please email me, and we'll get you the latest and greatest. Those of you guys might have login links to the SolidCAM website. You won't actually see 2016 on there yet, just because the mill turn, we have to just verify the post. So, okay. So we can do cut depth, zigzag one way. You can do fillets. Go to our link is basically our lead in and lead out. So we can leave our radius in there. You can do a tangent extension also. One other thing here is in the geometry, we can actually extend it out right here too. So if you are in the technology section and then click the geometry button, it basically looks just like profile. We can add, you know, it might be a little much. Let's do 300 thou to our start and stop. So it goes actually beyond the part right there. And then we can say apply to all chains, and it basically it scoots everything out that 300 thou for you guys. Now, if we do a straight down view, we are still coming down on material, but since we are using that lead in and lead out of the arc, we'll be able to clear that material without any issues. Okay. So let's just do a save and calculate, and let's see what we have going on right here. So you can see we started at the bottom right here, taking its passes, and we can actually see our finish pass, which is our last green line right there, of wiping that additional 5 thou material off there. So let's go ahead and do a solid verify here. You guys can actually see what we're cutting here. So nice light cuts. We're not taking it all in one big chunk. And you'll notice what it does is it actually does both. It gets both the upper and the lower at the same level. So it just doesn't focus on that bottom and then move up to the top. We did have that to begin with, but what we found out is we're actually getting a little bit of deflection when we were doing that. So we're kind of roughing it out all down to size for the upper and the lower. And we can speed this up here a little bit. And you guys can see I am just barely clearing my Kurt Weiss there. I think I gave myself about 50 thou clearance there, maybe it was even 20 thou. But all said and done, we can check our size real quick. And it shows that we're right up to size, up to 0. Still showing that we still have material here. And if those of you guys aren't sure what I'm clicking on here is, it's basically looking at your stock target comparison, finding out how much material is there. So, you know, our part where the green yellow, I have a pretty tight tolerance right now, but anything beyond the green yellow or even orange is all additional material. So you can see that I still have all this extra material to still machine off. Okay. So now what we need to do is we're going to do that same thing for the top right here. And I understand, you know, you guys saying, well, why not just do that with profile in a standard end mill? And most definitely, we definitely could, and it's probably a much faster cycle time. But I just want to give you guys an example of what it's going to look like when it's taken multiple steps and we actually don't have a ceiling anymore. All right, so what we'll do is just do save and copy, because we're going to be using that same end mill, same geometry. The only thing that we're going to be changing is the levels. So now what we'll do is our ceiling height is actually going to be the top of our part. And the depth will be to our bottom right here. And we can basically leave everything the same, except this time I'm going to start from the top. So that way I don't have anything above me, and I might as well start up on top and then work my way down to the bottom. So I'll just switch this, go from top to bottom. Save and calculate. And we get our toolpath again. Now you'll see we're actually taking this one in 3 passes. And it's all dependent on how much you want to go on your step down. If I wanted to go larger step down, I can make that number, or that's my step over. My step down is, it's automatically calculated with the width of, I'm trying to find it here. Let's get to the screen, of my cutting length right here. So it knows that it can only go a max of 0.25, but if I don't want to take it in that much, I can increase this cutting overlap right here. So if I do this to 100 thou, you'll see that we actually add additional passes in there because of the overlap. So a little bit lighter cuts on the cutter that way too. So we can simulate that here. Like I said, getting it all to one level, going down to the next. And if you guys want, you guys have the single step button right here. Instead of having to click this button, if you guys are getting to a spot, you guys can actually just hit the space bar on your keyboard, and that will go through for you too. Okay, so we got our T-slot for the bottom right here and a T-slot with a kind of an open top. Do we have any questions so far with the T-slot? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is basically we have the exact same thing on the other side, and I can go through and I can, make another T-slot operation. But to save us some time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right-click and use the mirror feature that they added in 2016, and I want to do my XY. And as I kind of click this, you guys can see the plane in green moving around. So I'm going to do around there. And you can do new operation or new operation at the end of the operation tree. So we'll do that option. And we'll just hit OK. And now we have both sides. So if we want, we can go through Solid Verify it just to make sure here. And we're good to go. We can just double check it. So we're yellow and green, so we're good to go. With your tolerances right here, like I said, I have mine pretty tight. Now these tolerances are going to be based off of your accuracy of your model. So right now I have my accuracy set pretty tight on there so I can see. I think with the default install, you will actually, it will be 4th thou for default, so definitely crank that up. It's going to take a little bit more of cycle time to render it, but you'll definitely see a lot more detail the more you have in there. So, I mean, we can zoom way in on this part here and see how nice our cuts are, see our surfaces and all that good stuff. So, all right. So now what we're going to do is let me uncheck these. And what we're going to do is the slot. Now, the slot feature is a dummied down version of kind of the profile. They kind of kept it real simple, easy to use, not a lot of gizmos and functions in there. So we'll just go ahead and click the slot. And what we'll do here is I'm going to do these 2 slots right here. So we'll grab that one.
Kevin, when you get a chance, there's a question regarding the simulation shortcuts. Like you were saying, if you were on that play button to hit the space bar, I think that's what Ronnie was asking.
Oh, okay. Ronnie, I don't have a list of actual shortcuts or short keys. That's the only one that I know about, and there's actually one that I just found out about today. And it's actually really nice. Let me exit out of here. And to answer your question, Ronnie, that's the only one that I know about for the simulation is by hitting the space bar when you're on single step mode. But let's say I want to chain the outside edge of this part. So normally what you'd have to do is hit, hang on, let me turn off my propagation here. Let me delete that. So if I wanted to chain something, normally what you guys would have to do is click there, hit the green check mark, go to your next chain, click the green check mark, go here, click the green check mark. So just found out today, a trick to this is when you guys go to chain, if you hold your control key and then just click where you want it, and it will automatically accept those chains for you. So I'm not having to come over and click the green check mark. And then when you're on your last chain, you don't want to do anymore, just hit the green check mark and it added all those chains. So that is a little bit of a shortcut for chaining technique. If you have multiple chains, just hit your control key and it will basically automatically hit that green check box when you go to click on your next chain. So just a
Kevin,
little.
am I seeing it right that it's actually doing extensions, or is it just chaining the actual entities themselves?
Yep, it's just chaining the entities themselves.
Okay, it's not doing an extension or anything like that.
No, when I was chaining this, if I come over here and you're seeing the blue lines pop up, it's something new that they added in 2016, so I can, if I want to stay along there, I can just hit the keep going, and it will keep going as it's going around. Or if I want, instead of going this way and I want to go down, I can just click the change and do it that way.
Huh.
Yep. So
that's a cool little option.
So just kind of some new stuff they added in 2016. But like I said, that if you guys do a lot of single entity chain picking, cool feature that they added in there of just hitting that control key. Okay, so we'll get back to our slot here. Oop, got my wrong one here. And I'm going to do this like O-ring groove here. And then also, I mean, I'm just trying to give you guys examples, and I know some of you guys might say, well, why don't you guys use the toolbox cycles, or because in toolbox cycles they have a real nice O-ring. Just trying to show you guys, you know, each functionality that's in the software for you guys. And I know there's a million different ways to program this part, but just trying to give you guys examples of the different operations that we have for you guys. Okay, so we'll grab a 1/8" end mill here. Now our slot actually is, I think it was 200 thou wide. 130, no, it's right to size, so actually I didn't even need to pick that second. Oh, I do need to pick that second chain, because if I just do that outside chain, it will actually skip this radius on the inside corner here. So, okay, so go to levels. Upper level is already there. There actually is no lower level in here. So when you guys are doing your slotting operation, you can just go to your geometry tool. You can actually skip the levels unless you have a different upper level. And then you can change it right here. So what we'll do is just change it to left. And looks like I need to change my direction of my chain 1. So what I'll do is I'll just reverse that. So you'll see my tool is now inbounds with my geometry that I want to go with. Now if I wanted to start it, you'll see that we're starting right on a radius right there. And I want to start this halfway, you know, through the part on a straight surface. So what I'm going to do is do a extend it off. So we'll go to chain 2 now and bring it to right there. So we're starting on a flat spot instead of right on the radius. Now what I just showed you guys there is on the SolidCAM professional test. So just a little heads up. Take your notes. Okay, so now in here is where they kind of kept everything in the technology section that you need. So we have our slot depth. So I can come in here, grab the bottom of that slot. I can tell it, you know, I want to go down every 100 thou. I can put a delta depth if I want to go a little bit, you know, deeper. I can turn my cutter comp on. If you had an open slot, we can extend it out right here. But like I said, it's basically a simplified version of profile. So we just don't have the finishing, the roughing, all that stuff. It's all going to do it right here for you. So we'll just do a save and calculate, and simple enough. Do a solid verify here for you guys. And just working our way around, getting that slot out of there. And you might be able to see now, let me just get rid of my holder. You'll see probably would have cut off that, wouldn't have gotten a perfect radius for the inside there. But any questions that anything that I've covered so far, guys? I know it's kind of a boring subject, but no, I'm kidding. Okay, so we'll do another slot right here. And we're kind of doing an open slot. Now what I'm going to do here is do another slot operation. Now, oops, sorry, for you guys that have a open geometry, we have
Kevin,
to go.
Got a question regarding spiral or ramping, and I'm thinking
sure.
he's referring for depth type.
Yeah, let's get in there. Oop. Let me turn my phone on silent here. Okay, so they don't have anything for the ramping. It's just a straight down plunge. So that's why, you know, if it was up to me, guys, programming this part, I would use profile, just because, like, basically what Ronnie is asking is You know, where do our link section? Well, you'll notice our link section is not even in existence here, so we can't even do a plunge with a zigzag pattern. We can't do a plunge with a helical pattern or anything like that. So it's a real simplified slotting operation. So like I was saying, you know, if this was myself, I would use the profile operation and use the spiral feature, so I can, you know, start off shallow and just slowly keep engaged all the way around that part. And also I have a lot more options for my engagement, but just not, like I said, it's a pretty simplified operation right here. So and to be honest, guys, I've been using SolidCAM since 2007, and I've used this once. So I just like profile just because you have more tools inside there to fine tweak it. But
more control.
Yeah, more control. There you go.
Whereas this is kind of just a standard. Hey, it's simplified. Click, click, done.
Yep, simple, easy. So okay. So now we'll do that other slot here. So what I'll do is slot. And so what I was getting at with the geometry, you know, we have kind of a gap right here. So a couple ways to go about that. What you guys can do is draw a sketch in there. A little bit of cumbersome. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to do the point-to-point feature. So basically, start point, end point. So easy as that. So then I can hit my green checkbox. I have that one. We can go back to point again. And this works excellent for just kind of avoiding those gaps in there. Okay, so we'll grab this guy right here. And like I said, just skip the levels. I'm just so used to going to levels with all the other stuff in there. Slot depth, set it to right there. We can do a step down of 100 thou. And while I'm being left, and we can come in here, and both my chains are going the wrong way, so we can just do a reverse all. And let's go ahead and add a extension on there of 0.2. And we do apply all. Now, if you guys wanted since we have two chains right here, if you guys wanted a extension different from chain 1 to chain 2, all you have to do is just uncheck, you know, so let's say chain 1 I want, you know, on the end I would just want 100 instead of 200, and on my chain 2 I want 200 for the start and end. So you guys can individually pick them also. Or if you guys want to apply it, you can apply it to all of them. Okay, turn on cutter comp right there. And we'll just do one way, save and calculate. And it's telling me I have empty geometry. Where do we have empty geometry? Let's see, you got our tool. We can just grab our upper level just to make sure. And you can also add an extension right here if you guys want. What am I missing here? Tim, what am I missing?
Oh, what? Oh, sorry, I dozed off.
Yeah, I figured.
Just kidding. Oh, I see it's saying something about the geometry.
Let's see. We'll try it again.
Geometry doesn't have to be closed. No, you got single line geometries there. George mentioned templates for the slot, for doing ramping in a slot operation, but I'm guessing George is referring to the slot, what do you call those other tools?
Oh, toolbox cycles?
Toolbox cycles probably is what George is referring to there.
Wait a minute, what do we got going on here? Let me get out of here for a second. New. Turn off my propagation.
curve.
It's like it's not grabbing my chain. Let's try this. Yep. Gotta re-grab my tool here. And we'll do left, and I need to reverse. Okay, so I picked this chain a little bit different. I didn't do point to point, but you'll see I didn't get all the way out to my end of my geometry. Another thing you should be able to do is highlight what you want right there. See if it, I think this, no. Sometimes you can actually highlight some of the fields and click and it will automatically fill the number in for you. Let's do a 0.6, and we'll do a 0.6. And now you can see that we covered that additional area right there. Save and calculate, and we can do multiple step downs. So right here you can see taking it in, 100 thou increments. And then obviously we're doing 250 thou depth, so that last one is going to be 50 thou. So, okay, so what's George saying? There is a template that will do the ramping and slot. Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of going over the slot feature right here. But for what George is saying is in the toolbox cycles, we have, spiral open slot. This is actually what we're going to be going over next week. Open with one end. So a lot of different options in here, and I think that's what you're looking at, George, for as your template. Also, if you guys wanted to do more something for this center O-ring here, and Ronnie was talking about, let's just let's add one here. Just do a profile. And that looks good. Tool, select, use our 1/8 inch levels. And we'll do a helical. And we'll just do a step down of 50 thou. So now what we're doing is we're actually ramping, coming in the material at Z0 and slowly moving in there. So what you guys could do from right here is, if this is something that you guys do often, or this is something you guys like, you can come up here and save this as a template, and we can just say slot with spiral. Spiral. Hit OK. So now I've saved that template. So now if I come in here and add a profile operation, I can actually load my slot with spiral right there, hit OK, and I just have to find the geometry. I think this isn't it. Yep. And it's got my tool in there. It's got my helical entry, doing a helical all the way around, doing a step down of 5 thou. So you guys could do that as a template too. But George kind of reminds me of a good point. Let me see something here. If I go to my SolidCAM settings, there is a template section right here. And so what we could do too, kind of what George is saying is, well, no, because it's not going to exist for the slot because it doesn't do the helical feature. Because you could make that as your default, I was thinking, but unfortunately, since we used it as a profile, we can't use it as a slot just because the slot feature doesn't have the helical roughing down. So, okay,
yeah, kind of like you mentioned before, Kevin, is using the profile operation gives you more options to be able to do a little bit different things. So
yeah, and like I said, the more options is nice, but if you're, like Tim was saying earlier, if you're just looking for something simple, easy, I mean, that's kind of what the slot is built for. So let's just do a sanity check here. make sure we have everything. We'll pull it up in Machine Sim so it looks even better for you guys. And let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit. Okay, probing up our part here. And I really like using this probe for the function, and just for, you know, at the shop that I used to work at, we would always have to manually type in our dimensions for our, you know, probe web is 9014 or 9013, I can't remember even offhand right now. And now you can do it right inside your cam. So see, we're doing our T-slot there. I can speed it up a little bit here. Doing the top. And then it's going to do the mirror option. So
Nikolai's got a question regarding the machine simulation.
Okay, how do you get that nice machine simulation window? The machine sim is I'm guessing from what you're used to seeing, is just standard solid verify. This machine sim is just a standard Haas VF3. If you want, you can see the whole outside, or sorry, VF4, the machine housing and full crash detection, stuff like that. So the machine sim is a small added cost, but the cost is so small that you break one tool holder, it pays for itself. So I highly recommend it to anybody. Even you know, a lot of times they'll tell you don't worry about machine sim if you're running, you know, 3-axis or smaller. I would recommend doing it all the time, just because some of these tool holders, you pile it up, or you pile up your part, you just scrapped out, you know, a tool holder, a tool, you ran across the part, and like I said, that pays for the machine sim just in one sitting right there. So, but it looks like we have a complete finished part here. Let me just turn off the shroud here so you can kind of see all the way around. Yep, looks like everything's to size. And I can tell everything is to size because the colors are kind of fading. I'm not sure if it's coming across the GoToMeeting well, but you can actually see the colors are fading throughout. You'll actually see right here, when I did that slot, I'd actually forgot to chain my other side, so I'd have to come in there and finish that off. That's I mean, that's a great spot when you guys are in Solid Verify. If we play everything through here, I've definitely talked about it with my salesman. Nicola, where are you located at?
I'm looking it up myself right now. That'd be Brendan's territory up in Quebec.
Oh, okay, up in Canada. Now, Nicola, if you go talk to Brendan about this, tell him you want the KevCAM discount, because you have to sit through my boring spiel about it. So that goes for any of you guys. If you guys have to sit through my stuff, we'll give you the old KevCAM discount. Okay. So any other questions, concerns, or anything that I can answer for you guys? Like I said, I know tonight is pretty boring, nothing flashy, nothing cool, but I promise next week is going to be much better. Let me just verify if I go to SolidCAM right here. Let me just make sure I'm telling you guys right here. Yep, Toolbox Cycles is next week. So next week will get real interesting. We'll actually even do something pretty cool with engraving. With engraving, the nice portion of that is if you guys have a complex mold, you guys don't have to project that engraving onto, or a part number onto that mold. We can just take it up in space, and we just define the engraving, and then we tell it where to project the surface on, and then SolidCAM figures it all out for you. So, but you know,
so
like
what kind of operation is doing that, Kevin? Is it
engraving?
Like a 2D engraving type thing, or is it?
Well, it's
3D
actually
engraving?
Right here. If we go to engraving,
Add engraving.
you have a 2D and a 3D. So when I go to pick 3D, it's asking, the geometry you want to engrave on, or the surface that you want to engrave on, and then just the actual engraving geometry.
Yeah, the letters, exactly.
Yep.
Do you need the Mill 3D for that 3D engraving?
I don't think so. I think it's in the 2D.
That's to me the way that you're pulling it through the menu there. It almost looks like it's a 2D engraving that's getting projected out to a 3D surface.
Actually, let's see, do I have
That's interesting.
that pane? Yeah, it's going to be in your 2.5D stuff.
Yeah.
Because
cool.
if I just come right here, yep, she's in with the 2.5D stuff. So, is there a way to automatically increment the serial numbers? Yes, there is. We actually had, I can't think of the name, we had somebody ask that question last week. Nicola, are you running a Haas, or what kind of machine are you running?
Yep.
So what we do is we build a macro in there, and so what they're asking there is, if we had a serial number on here as serial number 1, so every time we machine that part, that serial number will increase. So it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will automatically do that, and that's actually inside the post. We turn that on, and that would actually be inside your miscellaneous parameters as incrementally engraved number, something like that. So definitely, Nicola, do you have Eric Middleby's contact information? Yes. Okay, let him know, and he should have everything set. Russ actually created a macro for it, so if you just mention Russ created a macro for it, he should be able to get it for you. So, and that goes with any guys. If you guys are looking for something, definitely let us know. Any other questions that I can help you out with, guys? Now we're getting a little off subject because we're talking about engraving and toolbox cycles, but
that's all right. We needed something exciting
yeah.
to slide.
Exactly. All right. Well, with that being said, for those of you guys that are new, we do have the Tell a Friend program, and like I said, I was able to get the CEO of SolidCAM to bump up the dollar value for you guys just for sitting through the night class. So if you guys just give us a name and a phone number of a buddy down the street that has a machine shop, they get in the demo, you get $100, and if they end up buying, you get 20% of that sale. So real nice promo that we got going on, or we always have it going on. But like I said, just if you talk to your account manager, tell them, the KevCAM special, and that will raise it from $50 to the $100, so it'll double it for you. But any suggestions, ideas, concerns, please email me. I know a lot of you guys have sent ideas off, and we're getting to those ideas. I have a whole slew of them. And hopefully you guys find these, something that you can learn on. And like I said, if there is something that you guys want to see, let me know. I have no problem making a quick video for you guys on it. I don't know, for some of you guys, I did tell you my goal is to get this channel to beat Sydney. So let's, I'm replacing Sydney. So no, a little friendly competition, but like I said, guys, thanks again for sitting through the night class. And thanks for taking your time out of your night. I know you guys could be doing something much better. I see Harry DeLeon on there, and I don't know, Harry's got the coolest Dodge Viper that he told me that I can come drive anytime I want, so he could be working on that and listen to my night class, but no.
Hey, Kevin, you mentioned the certification program, and did you cover much of that? I heard you mention it just briefly, but
we're working on the for those of you guys aren't sure of what's going on here, so let me just open up SolidWorks real quick, and I'll kind of show you what we're kind of doing to follow along with the SolidWorks certification. So for those of you guys that don't know, on here is a certification test. So this is a associate's test, you have a professional's test, and you have an expert test. And then in between they have certified SolidWorks professional in sheet metal, in surfacing, advanced mold, advanced surfacing simulation, and I'm trying to read my certificates, advanced drawing tools, and they have a couple other ones. So these are tests that are all taken, and you can come in here and get certified. So this is what we're actually doing with SolidCAM. We're creating a certified SolidCAM Associates, certified SolidCAM Professional, and we're going to do a certified SolidCAM Expert. Now these tests are free to you guys as long as you're on maintenance, just kind of like how SolidWorks works. And it's well, the first two that I've done so far are hour-long tests, and basically like the Associates, the SolidCAM Associates test is just going to be covering your basics: drilling, face mill, tapping, profile, and pocket. The professional test is actually a 3-segment test, and it's going to be covering your 2.5D with ion machining, 3D, 4-axis indexing, and then you get into the expert, which is going to be your 4 and 5-axis simultaneous and your mill turn. Then what we'll do is you get a really nice certificate saying that you passed it. Now, for those of you guys that know SolidWorks, they also have a spot where you can, let's see, I just have to remember here, it's been a while. If I go here.
Yeah, they actually list the people that
Yep.
have these types of certificates.
Yep.
So it's kind of a tool for you guys to use, you know, in your careers and looking at, you know, different things, and, you know, somebody looking for somebody who's got, you know, proven skill set.
Yeah, so if I come in here, if I go down to United States, and this is going to be set up pretty close to the same how SolidWorks is. So what we'll do is we'll go to the good old Minnesota, and let's do by company, and we should see a SolidCAM employee. Here we go. So right here, it tells you what tests that you have passed. So you can see it, you know, the dates that I passed all these tests, and then it's going to be linked into your LinkedIn account if you guys have one. So this kind of help you guys out, and it's just a fun test to take, just to test your skills and get that pretty little certificate and show it off to all your coworkers. But I do have the associates test done, so if anybody's interested in that one, I'm currently working on the professional test and the expert test, but they will all be released on the website the first of the year. If I go to solidcam.com, and if I do a search, this is a page that I'm just starting to get rolling on, but here's the associates test. You know, it's a 1-hour test, minimum passing rate is 70%. And it's covering face mill, profile, pocket drilling, chamfer, tapping, putting coordinate system on there, target stock, step downs, all that stuff. Kind of the recommended stuff to look over before you take the test. So Harry DeLeon is telling me about his Viper, and Harry, I don't think I should go to YouTube and check it out, just because I will be down at your door wanting to drive your car. So.
Funny. Cool.
So, but yeah, so you guys, there's a lot of great stuff coming up. This is kind of stuff that kind of doing on the side, just to kind of get the, you know, myself, you guys seen that I am certified in SolidWorks, and, you know, I know as a SolidCAM user, I was back when I was using SolidCAM, I was kind of hoping that they had a test, so I'm finally getting that the ball rolling and writing the test. So, but like I said, shoot me an email if you guys want to take it. Is there going to be a practice test? No, there is no practice test. I might do a quick peek so you can kind of see what the part looks like, but this the associates test is basically it's pretty simple. I tested the guys that work at SolidCAM on tech support, so we give you an hour to do the test, and majority of the guys are able to do it in about 10 minutes. So it's not nothing to be stressed out about, Clarence, or you're nothing to be scared of. They're all pretty. They're not. The first one is simple, but as they kind of get up in levels, they do get a little bit harder. but maybe I'll come up with a sample test for you guys so you guys can kind of take a quick peek at what you're diving into first before, you know, you get going on there. But I just type that in YouTube channel. Oh, okay. Any other questions, guys? Concerns? And Harry, I am definitely going to be checking out that YouTube channel after we get done with the night class. So, but all right, guys. With that being said, we're kind of rambling on here. With that being said, I will. Everything that we talked about in the video here is all recorded, so it will be on the SolidCAM University channel within a few hours here. So if you guys want to rewatch it or it's something that you missed, definitely come check it out on the YouTube channel or just shoot me an email, guys. You know, I want to give you the guys the absolute best support you guys ever seen. So shoot me an email and we'll get your guys' questions answered away. So with that.
And Kevin, I just want to say thanks for doing this. You know, customers I talk to every day. I mean, this is one of those things that kind of sets SolidCAM apart at going above and beyond, taking care of the customers. So,
there you go.
Sure do appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks guys for sitting through it. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday for a more exciting KevCAM. All right, guys, have a great night.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep, bye-bye.